try to make this fast. These videos, if they take too long, people get mad at me. So, all right. Hello, adventurers, and welcome to a new video. Today, we're going to be talking about Dura'S trials. For those of you who have been trying out Dura'S trials and you've been through the trials and tribulations of it, it is quite difficult for you guys. Clearly, once you get nearing those high teens to low 20s levels where things start to get haywire. And for those of you who don't know, Dura'S trials, it's a very simple game mode with certain buffed characters, and I'll give you a brief preview of things that are going on basically in the game. For those of you who haven't seen it, basically you get these buffed characters, and then from there, you simply just level through the trials. Now, I'm at a stage right now where these are pretty easy to do, even though some of the characters are low priority. For the most part, it seems so easy on the surface. And I'm like, oh, well, why is this a problem? I think, honestly, my only problem at surface value looking at this beginning is the charm system. And I'll say it's not because the charms are unbalanced or unfair. I mean, everyone's working for the same charms for the most part, and it is pretty much RNG as far as what you get. But in that lies the issue, in the sense that I can see this immediately being, you know, if you do not get the drops of the charms that you're looking for, then it is going to be more difficult. However, that being said, once you get to a certain level, I believe it's level 22 and 25, it states, you start to be able to wish list certain characters' charms. However, that doesn't necessarily stop the people that you're versing, say in PvP, from having full sets of charms and having massive difference. But what else is new when it comes to AFK Journey? This is very similar to what all of us are used to in AFK Journey. Simply put, if someone has a better stacked account, it doesn't necessarily stop them from being someone you can verse in a game. You simply try to avoid them best you can and try to match up with somebody close to you. There's not really a true ranking system to this game. So what are some of the issues that have been reported recently? I've been going through the Discord page because I wanted to be fair with this. And I noticed that a lot of people are reporting that not only do these Dura trials favor certain promoted characters, but these characters at first seem overpowered, but the non-promoted ones become irrelevant in the sense that even if they're strong, they're ascended, it leveled up, even if that's the case, you're still gonna have issues facing these Dura trials because they will get one shot if they're not promoted. And even if they are, both of those cases, you might still struggle with these game modes. So this limits to the diversity in which you can play with certain characters. And in all honesty, it seems like chance and RNG that people are able to clear some of these. And it just becomes a spiraling RNG mess wherein there's no shot for you unless you get the RNG that hits the right characters in the right formation in the right time. So it's a lot of just switching stuff around sort of meaninglessly, it seems like. I don't really see a lot of true strategy coming with this because a lot of people are reporting not only that it's tough. I mean, that's the sort of a given once you get to these higher levels. I understand that. But also on top of that, people are reporting that some of these right here, so Scarlita really taking time to dive just to get one shot by Muriel. You're not alone, these trials are a joke. I'm way above the replays but get decimated. Seeing the replay, I have no idea how they clear. This has to be a joke. How did anyone beat this stage? I'm not buying RNG considering how fast I wiped. And so a lot of people are saying that the replays, I don't know if they're saying the replays are effed or if the replays are faked, but I'm inclined to be a little bit suspicious that these AFKs or these stages are completely realistic. It must be full chance that this is happening because a lot of people are talking about higher ascensions, higher levels, and still being unable to clear some of these. And this is not from me. This is from other people. And this is not just one. This is just one in the many that I've seen in this Discord page. I feel like, and this actually was said in another one I've seen, people are saying that it seems like they've handpicked the low priority characters that you haven't invested in much to buff, and then you have to use those buffed heroes. So what this causes is it forces people who are being selective about which ones they choose, free-to-play players especially, which seems to be the people they target the most in this game, more than anything, and forcing them to either invest in these low priority characters or fall behind. Now, if you're in a position to where you're not investing into a number of characters actively, you could say, well, then I can switch up my wish list and invest in those low priority characters. But all in all, is it worth it for these charms? I mean, it does make a difference in combat, of course. I mean, some of these are actually they do make a difference, but is it worth it if what you're investing into you won't use outside of this game mode? Even if they do have charms, you won't use them outside of this game mode. Simply, you're going to make your meta stronger, but it's not going to make your non-meta characters meta all of a sudden by having these charms and putting them into these games. So I'm kind of curious as to why they're doing it this way. It seems to me like it's just a cash grab to try to get people to invest in characters that they don't buy into already. And it doesn't really seem like anything that is actually providing value into the game or switching up or changing up metas. So I'm actually curious as to why. The biggest change I've seen is that people are saying that that supports are getting massively buffed by charms. So I'm curious to see if that's the reason, or like, you know, the silver lining in all of it, that supports are the reason for it. But so far right now, I'm not really seeing that myself. Another report here. Let's talk about another report that I saw. So in this one, it says, are Dura trials supposed to become impossible? I'm literally dying doing everything supposedly right. I'm using the buffed characters, winning team records, and I even have higher levels than what they have, but I still get absolutely trashed. And this isn't even the last difficulty. I'm able to play difficulty 18 because I already reached AFK level 1000, but I can't even get past difficulty 17. Buffed does not mean best, as I got told, but then they say, if anything's not buffed, it simply gets one shot. To be fair, everything buffed does as well. And the records only show buffed characters. It doesn't help that it feels like they handpicked the low priority characters, as I mentioned earlier. So, someone says, I haven't tried. They said, I haven't tried that. And then it said, it's literally impossible right after that. So I think that, honestly, I'm going to say, a lot of people are going to hate that I say this, that this Dura'S trials just seems like a simple way to make no difference in metas or rankings. It's too much RNG to establish new strategies, and it just seems like a way to force people to invest in low priority characters for people who are at a stage where they don't need to invest. I think I'm at a stage right now where I don't need to really worry about that, because what I'm doing right now is still very doable. However, given time, I'm seeing myself in this exact same position just as everyone else, because some of my characters simply I don't invest in, because as a free to play, you're specifically told not to invest into certain characters. So what are your feelings? What do you think about this? Do you feel like this is slated unfairly? Do you feel like that the charms don't play a large role into PvP? Maybe you think they do. Maybe you've seen big differences in these things. Let me know in the comments. Additionally, thank you for the support, guys, in the Zenless Zone video we put out. I really do appreciate everyone who's been active in the page, as well as commenting, positive or negative. I mean, honestly, it adds to the conversation. And I think while I may disagree with people at times, I'm not here just gonna be like that I know everything. I'm simply gonna look at this from a perspective of, what do I think, what are other people saying, and go from there. I put out a poll in my community, and the poll said, I think it was like 70 to 30 at the time. 70 to 30 people think that the Dura'S trials is unfair. So I don't know if the community is saying it outright. I haven't really seen videos claiming so, but to me, this just seems like kind of another thing, just like stargazing, where it just seems like scam, like just scam trials. Someone said Dura'S trials should be like Dura'S torture, essentially. So I don't know how to feel about it yet, because I have mixed feelings about it right now. To me right now, like, these are actually, they're fun to try out characters I don't normally use. So I think on a superficial level, this is actually an interesting game mode that it could be a lot of fun. But I can see what people mean if the difficulty gets scaled too high to where it feels like you have to invest in characters that you simply don't invest in normally. So I'm in a mixed state right now. I think the couple ways we can fix it is, one, Make it to where a person only needs to invest into two max of buffed characters in order to beat the trials. It should be doable with at least those. That way you can build teams off of that. Because I can build teams off of 2 characters, easy peasy. I can build 3 or 4 teams off of 2 characters. That's easy. That or 2, make it to where these low prior characters who don't even go into metas for any reason at all. Let's make it to where these charms are pushing them into like mid-level, like semi-decent range. I'm not saying make them like A ranked or S plus ranked. I'm saying like make them like actually viable. So like if we're investing into these new characters, then it's like, all right, with these charms, they actually do halfway decent. That way it kind of like introduces a chance to put characters into the field that didn't previously belong there to kind of shake up the meta. I always like these shake up the meta type of things, even though it's like I'm not able to invest into the characters that everyone's been talking about all the time. I like having a diverse amount of characters that I can swap into battles. So I think those would be good fixes for it. I do like the concept of this game mode. I just do think it's unfortunate that looking forward to this, you know, like I'm just now starting this, that a lot of people are saying that into the higher teens of these levels that it's actually just way too difficult to do. So in that, it causes a lot of people to be behind on what charms they're invested in unless they get lucky due to RNG. But because this is on a rotating schedule as well, with only full access 1 day a week, you're kind of stuck for a few days sometimes, because if you're waiting for, like, today's Wednesday and I'm waiting to get up my support, I have to wait till Sunday or Monday. So it's like, so a lot of that creates issues. The time gatedness, I think, is the worst part about some of AFK Journey's features, and I really don't like time gated events. It doesn't do anything for the game. If people are able to clear your content and max it out in a day, it's not good content. It's not good content or worthy content, because if it's not farmable to the point where it's enjoyable to do over time, then it clearly wasn't fun ever to begin with. If the only reason it's fun is because you artificially lengthen the time in which it exists before people are maxed out, then it's not fun. It's truly not fun. If it takes too long to farm essences so you can buy from the store, if it's taking too long whenever you do have wish listing to actually get the thumbs up one, the charms, then honestly, it's not good content. It's just artificially increased to make you feel like you have time sunk. So that's my thoughts on it. Sorry for this going for a little bit long. I'll cut this down a bit, I promise. But until next time, may fortune favor your journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.